So we're standing in the center of the Jewish quarter in a place called Batei Machse, which is with a refuge square. And on one side we see buildings built by Dutch and German Jews as a urban renewal project in the mid-19th century. And in back we have an iconic building of the Jewish quarter, which was built by Baron Karl von Rothschild. Also as an urban renewal project. You can even see the Rothschild coat of arms in the middle of the building there. This was an attempt to support the poor Jews living in Jerusalem in the 19th century. And this square was largely reconstructed after the 1967 Six-Day War, so only a few of these buildings are authentic. But what I wanted to point out over here is the inscription in the wall. Because I want to talk about the idea of actively bringing redemption. On the wall over here is actually, it's the only, as far as I know, and I've lived in the Jewish quarter a long time, it's the only quote from the Bible, from Tanakh, put in by the company that rebuilt the Jewish quarter, which is not a religious organization at all. Their offices are right back in this Rothschild building here. But it's a quote from Zechariah. Zechariah was one of the last prophets of Jewish history. He wrote until the very beginning of the Second Temple period, when prophecy ceased, when Jews started to come back to Jerusalem. And it says, Ko Amor Hashem Tzvakot, thus says the Lord of hosts, Od Yoshvu Zkenim Zkenot B'Chovot Yerushalayim. They'll again dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, old men and old women, and a man on his walking stick will walk in the streets for many days. And it says, V'Chovot Ha'ir Ma'alu Yeladim V'Yaldot. It says the streets of Jerusalem will be filled with boys and girls playing in the streets. And normally when we're here, lucky for us filming, it's not happening today, but normally when we're here, it's in the middle of recess because there are two schools located in these two buildings over here, and there's children playing in the street. And I like to end a lot of my tours here, and I also like to point out the tree down below over here, where you see they planted a sycamore tree in here about 4 decades ago when they were building the Jewish quarter, and they left a column up next to it. And the column has now grown into the tree, and I think it's a great juxtaposition of something ancient with something new alive that is growing, which is really even an analogy for the Jewish people. We think about for how many generations the Jewish people prayed next year in Jerusalem. And when I'm ending with a group guiding here, we talk about what would our great-grandparents have given to be able to spend a day doing what we did, to land in Ben Gurion Airport and to come on a nice air-conditioned bus to the old city of Jerusalem, Israel, reborn, Jerusalem reunified as the united capital of the Jewish people and our spiritual center. But we don't appreciate that that is an incredibly long journey. We do not appreciate how many centuries Jews wish to do that and how many Jews sacrificed so much, especially in modern history, to make that dream come true. And we lived in exile for so long, we forgot what it was like to be normal, to be back in our land as one people with our homeland, with a country, with a passport, with an army, with a government, with a port of refuge. But that was an active process. And for too long, I think many Jews have sat around thinking, I'm waiting for redemption. The Messiah should show up and help. We have to appreciate that as Jews, we're part of an incredible historical process to bring redemption to the world. But it's a proactive process that all of us play a role in. And every one of us should spend time when we're in this period of mourning, thinking about what went wrong. We should also think about what we need to get right, which is, of course, some Jewish unity and Jewish proactivity. Every one of us, like a snowflake, is unique. We all have something we can do to bring this process forward, with it, whether it's who we know, the money, the resources and money we have, what we can teach. We should be focusing constantly, especially at this time. For too long, the Jewish people have suffered and gone through too much. The world seems to be a rudderless ship. The world needs the Jewish people and needs our leadership in the world. We should take this time during the 3 weeks to focus on what each and every one of us can do, and all of us working together, doing those little things, will actively help bring that redemption and make a huge difference, not just in Jewish history, but in all of human history. And then we can get to the happy ending of the story, which is the true rebuilding of Jerusalem, not just the reconstruction of the Jewish quarter, but the rebuilding of the third Beit HaMikdash, the temple on the Temple Mount, which should happen soon and in our days.
Thank you so much for that incredible virtual tour. As we've heard, Rothschild was a quintessential forward thinker. He never settled or compromised on the status quo. He dreamt of a better future, and he became the catalyst of that change. He accelerated the advancement and progress of our homeland by investing and toiling to make dreams a reality. The Gemara Masechah Shabbos cites the famous passage of Chazal that when we pass from this world of Mea ve'esrim Shana, the Almighty will evaluate our lives and ask a series of questions. Nasata v'natata be'emunah, were you ethical in your business dealings? Kavata mitim Torah, did you fix a time for learning Torah? Asakta b'peria rivya, did you build a family? And Sipita Yeshua, loosely translated, did you long for Geula? Did you long for the ultimate redemption? What is interesting is that the Ran, Rabbeinu Nisim, in his commentary on the Talmud, quotes this passage verbatim, but adds one word, biyamecha. Sipita Yeshua biyamecha. Did you long for Geula in your day? Why? What propelled the Ran to alter the wording of this Maimer Chazal? Well, Schwab suggests that if you look at the series of queries, every evaluative question, every life endeavor asked of us, mentioned in this Talmudic passage, can be quantified, can be calculated. You can measure each variable. If you have a family, if you are ethical, if you made time to enhance your education, they have quantitative metrics. But there's no way that you can quantify or measure if you longed for something amorphic. Therefore, the Ran added the word in your day, meaning the question that will be asked of us is that did you perform any actions to hasten the Geula? Did you grab onto that rope of national destiny, and pull that future closer? The Chavetz Chaim similarly echoes these sentiments and cites that the etymological root of tzipita is sofeh, a scout. It is a scout that runs to the next hill, checking out the new terrain, and then signals to the troops to proceed. According to the Ran and the Chavetz Chaim, Hashem will be asking us not only if we longed for Geula, but if we did something in our lives to accelerate it. Tzipita Yeshua, did we actively run to the next hill, the next chapter in our history, and move that process of Geula along? Did we speak to our children about the importance of Israel? Did we pause and have a serious conversation about Aliyah? Did we have a thoughtful evaluation of our priorities as individuals and as a nation? Did we have a serious conversation about the ultimate destination and destiny of our people? We do not have the right or luxury to stagnate the process of Geula. Instead, let's accelerate, embrace, and usher in our next stage of redemption. Our generation was given a remarkable gift, a magical opportunity. And of course, nothing of value does not come without its challenges. But I believe these challenges are surely dwarfed by this historic opportunity. May we take this time of the year when we acutely feel bereft of our Beit HaMikdash and our ultimate state of being, to reflect not only what we're lacking, missing, and mourning, but what measures we can all take to accelerate the process of Geula. Let us all be zocheh to see the words of Zechariah come true fully in our days. Od yeshvu zgenim uskenot b'chovot Yerushalayim.